Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the National Guard products. Number 92 VA is what this is. This is a heavy aluminum U-shaped door bottom. This is heavy, and what I mean when I say that, it's the extrusion thickness is heavy. This 3-foot piece with its piece of vinyl weighs 1.8 pounds. So that's heavy for a piece of aluminum in just 3-foot length. It feels substantial when it's on the door, and why people will purchase this is because what they're actually looking to do in some instances is to take a door that's beginning to fatigue at the bottom, rot out, rust away, and extend the life of the door by using this heavy piece of aluminum U-channel. That's why people will at times use this. Flush and flat faces, as you can see here, a small bevel up at the top, inserted vinyl, that's what the V stands for in the part number. The 92 is representative of the U-shaped version of this door bottom. The V means that it's vinyl, and therefore the dimensional properties, which we'll get into in a moment. The A stands for clear anodized aluminum. This is also available in the 92V DKB, dark bronze anodized. It'd be the same thing, just in dark bronze. There is an image below this video showing the important dimensional properties of this item. And it is, as you can see, the face is 2-inch. What they're really showing you is the face of the item to the bottom of where the door would sit. So from here to here is 2-inch. More importantly is the fact that you've got 1/2 of an inch down here when that seal from here down to the bottom. That's the important part to know, that you're going to have 1/2 of an inch that you need to be able to account in terms of the undercut or the space between the bottom of the door and the top of the sill or threshold. If that space is below 7/16 of an inch, it might be tough to get this to fit on. If you're upwards of 9/16 or even 5/8 or even a little bit more, that's okay, because you can pull this down obviously a little bit. It also features slotted screws, and we're going to talk more about that in a moment. So you'll use this when you want to seal the bottom of the door and use a U-shaped bottom. This is intended specifically for 1 3/4 thick doors. Okay. There is a link below this video to the product brochure that shows this item and National Guard's sister products as it relates to this. The 92 series is always going to be this flush 2-inch face. The 92 series you can then take and put different types of bottoms below it. You can get into the WH version, where you're going to have both a neoprene seal and bristle that would be inserted down into the feature of the extrusion here and here. Then you can see just the WH, which is the bristle only. The N, which is neoprene. It'll look like the vinyl, but it'll be neoprene. The V for vinyl. The TA for that thermoplastic elastomer finned sort of material that's used very commonly. And then a hybrid of that, the TWH. The thermoplastic insert along with the bristles that are put in there. So the point of the matter is what to use. That's the general question. Quite honestly, this is an expensive door bottom, as door bottoms go. And why so? Well, it's a big piece of heavy, clear anodized aluminum. I personally would only use vinyl if I had no other choice, meaning I was stuck on that undercut. I would always prefer the neoprene, and quite frankly, depends on the installation as well. I might opt for the thermoplastic elastomer, and I believe that we could probably also order that notched if you needed to install it onto a door that required ventilation like you would have in a hotel suite door. It's possible. I don't know that it's available as notched, but it likely is. Depending on what dimension I was working with and what the sill condition was, I would certainly want bristle if I had the 3/4 inch dimension. And I would certainly want the neoprene, is what I would opt for myself if I had the dimension. Bristle, because what you're doing at that point is you're bringing the front line of the barrier right to the outside of the door and not waiting, not allowing the material to get substantially under your door. That's what it looks like. It's customary for the vinyl to run long for you to trim it. So this is what it actually looks like. Rather than wait for it to get underneath here. So I'd like to have my barrier closer to the exterior door. And quite honestly, I would be very apt to want to install a drip cap right onto the face of this as well, because those are incredibly effective at helping keep the water out. So that link to the product brochure is very handy because you will see variations on this. You might find something, oh, that works even better, is the case. This is going to be available in all of the common lengths. We have it in the site likely from 2 foot to 8 foot. If you have need for a custom length, by all means let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces, and simply indicate in the comment field what length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. Now the reasoning is if you had to take this 4 foot piece and cut it down to say 42 inch, you'd eliminate that first slotted hole. And this item is full of slotted holes, as you can see. The reasoning for the slotted holes is multifold. First of all, not every sill is level. Certainly not every door is plumb. You have conditions by which having a slotted hole is very handy, such as not only to account for the previous two mentioned items, but also, when you're pre-drilling the holes for the screws, and by the way, screws are included in a complimentary finish. 6 by 3/4 is what National Guard is saying these are. That drill bit has a tendency to walk a little bit before it pierces in if you've not used a center punch. Even just a small amount might make it difficult to utilize these slotted holes to really well tailor this on the bottom of the door. So if you ordered a custom length, we'd not only give you the item cut to length, and you'd have that nice factory edge, saving you the work of doing it. Drill those slotted holes at the proper distance from the edge, and of course the proper center to center as well. The reason they're staggered is obviously so that you don't have screws that are backing into each other if they were completely in line. This is smoke and draft control rated. This is fire rated UL 10B, 10C for up to 90 minute and 3 hour doors. Air and infiltration tested, and it's just a really nice item. A lot of people will use this to help support and squeeze out a few more years out of the door. I'm a big fan of doing that whenever you can. You might have some surface rust down at the bottom, and while this material is not going to solve the surface rust problem, it'll give you some integrity back to the door. If you are repairing a door, one trick that we use here in Chicago is go to the auto parts store and get yourself some of that spray undercoat that you'll put on the bottom of a car after you've done some welding or repair. Get that underneath the door as well. People who use it are maintenance engineering individuals at a large facility where in the wintertime they're throwing salt down everywhere in the parking lot and the walkways. Well, that's all hitting the door too. And even if it's a galvanized door, that salt, that moisture, just, is absolutely responsible for a premature ending to the door. Speaking of it rusting at the bottom, just to really go off on a tangent, why does a door rust at the bottom? Well, in my experience, when you've got years of the door being exposed to all the elements, especially rain, that rain hits the top of the door and trickles down and really ends up eventually at the bottom of the door, and that's why it rusts out at the bottom. So we were talking earlier about drip caps. Put one at the header as well, which I think it's the National Guard number 16A might be the part number. I forget, but they've got the 2.5 inch projection. So if that's the condition, there's some other tips and tricks to help you prolong the life expectancy of your door. People who have used drip caps swear by them, both at the bottom and very much so at the header as well. So there is also a link below this video to the installation instructions. Those are quite garden variety. Cut to length, pre-drill your holes, screw it, you're done. Attached to the door. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full line National Guard catalog. If you have more than an occasional need for weather stripping from National Guard, by all means familiarize yourself with their product line. Not only door bottoms, but perimeter gasketing, thresholds, material made of aluminum like this, stainless steel, architectural bronze, fantastic customer service, technical support, and industry-leading ship times as well. Any questions on the National Guard 92 VA, aluminum door bottom, or any other National Guard product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.